P's and P's. Yeah. Second. Grab these notes. All right. Bear me 1 second. Hmm? If you can, yeah. All right, this is the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General YAHANNA. As you know, in the UK, we teach classes 3 times a week. So in the UK, we got the address. It is 394 Lodge Road, the postcode B18 5PW. If you're not in the Birmingham region, then you can watch the class online. You know what I mean? We got the YouTube channel ISUPK United Kingdom. So you can log in on there, watch. You can. It's also an interactive class, so you can type in your questions also as well. So with that being said, in the UK, we do classes 3 times a week, and all the classes are at the same time, 11 o'clock till 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the afternoon till 9 o'clock. So in the UK, you have the Monday class, which is a history class done by Officer Karafia. Powerful class goes into a lot of UK history, a lot of black soldiers that fought in World War One. You know what I mean? Many things that a lot of Israelites in the UK don't know. Then on the Wednesday, you got the law class done by Officer Dumgabar, where we goes into the laws on how blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, how we're meant to be. You know what I mean? We're meant to keep these commandments and live. And he does an excellent job with that Wednesday class. Then today, which is the Thursday, which is the scripture breakdown class. This is the class where if you've been reading the Bible all week, there's something you don't understand. This is the class where you bring it right here. And also, we go into a subject in the class as well. Then also in America, from Tuesdays through till Fridays, you can also watch the classes in America. They start at 12 a.m. I believe the YouTube channel is ISUPK live online classes. So from 12 a.m. you can also watch classes on there. So you got the Tuesday class, which is the Brotherhood class, powerful class. Then you got the Wednesday class, which is a law class. Thursday scripture breakdown class, the same as in the UK. And then you got the Friday class, which is a language class. And that's heavy because the Lashawan Kodash, or the Holy Tongue, that's the native language of every black man, every Hispanic man, and every native Indian man. And you know me, just being an Israelite, that's one thing, but being an Israelite, we had a language too, man. There's a way how we spoke too. And in that Friday class, you learn it, man. Then in the UK, every second Saturday is a Sabbath class where where we read out of the law in the Hebrew, then we translate it in the English. And if you're in the UK watching a Sabbath class in America, that will be at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Then also you have the Grill Radio Show hosted by Commanding General YAHANNA. That's on the Monday at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. every Monday. The Grill, man, powerful radio show done by the leader of this nation, Commanding General YAHANNA. A radio station you don't want to miss, man. The last angry black man living on the face of this earth, man. Then on a Monday, In the UK, I believe it's 3 in the afternoon. You got Let a Hebrew Speak, done by General Hazayan. Another powerful radio show. You don't want to miss that. Then on a Friday at 4 a.m. UK time, you got Cross the Line radio show. Another powerful radio show that you don't want to miss, man. So in the UPK, you're going to get fed, man. You're going to learn something with all what you have, man. All what you gotta do is log in and pay your tithes, man. That's all what you gotta do to start off with. But with that now, we're gonna get into idolatry. You got people that don't know the Bible, and we're gonna get to it in a moment. That try to say, well, Israelites done idolatry here, and the Lord allowed it. And we're gonna get the verse later on, and we're gonna explain that too. But in the Bible, God forbids idolatry.
Right.
So if you could just get me the standard definition of idolatry out of a dictionary, out of the Oxford or the Cambridge dictionary. What is idolatry? Before we go in the Bible, I mean, let's find out what it means first.
Idolatry, the worship of idols.
The worship of what?
The worship of idols.
And what is an idol? It's an invention of a man, meaning it's something that is made by a man. So a man may, now this is just for argument's sake right here. This cup, some may say this is the snow wolf god Bacchus. I'm just saying. Now you're bowing down to it. You are reverence this, saying this is God. That is idolatry right there, man. So it don't mean you can't have images. It don't mean you can't have paintings in your house. It doesn't mean things can't symbolize something. But when you start saying it's God, when you start bowing down to it, that is idolatry right there, man.
Right.
So let's get it. Let's get Exodus 20:3. Because off the back of this, what do people like to do? Let's go. You got a depiction of Christ. That's idolatry. You got depictions of angels. That's idolatry. And no, it's not. And the verse they like to use, it ain't saying what they think it's saying. And we're gonna get into English grammar as well, because that's something they don't know. You got that for me?
Exodus 20:3. Thou shalt have no other God before me.
What did the Bible say?
Thou shalt have no other God before me.
So now that's key. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. What is the word God? It's Alahaya, meaning a power. So there's no other power before your God, man. You don't look up something, go, that's God, that's the power. No, it's not, man. You don't put no God. You mean you don't put nothing before the Most High, saying that's God, that parted the Red Sea, that delivered you. You only serve one God, man. That's why in Deuteronomy 6:4, what does it say? Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one, meaning we serve the one living God. We don't put nothing before the Most High, saying that saved me, that saved my life, that parted the Red Sea, that delivered me out of the land of Egypt. Read on.
Khan. Thou shalt not make thee any graven image.
So now this is the part that people don't understand. Thou shalt not make any graven image. So what is a graven image? Something that you carve out. So you get some wood, and for argument's sake, you know what I mean, you carve this God's face, so-called, or you know what I mean, you sculpt this so-called God. That's a graven image, an image that you had to grave, whether it's wood, whether it's rock, whether it's gold, you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. Read on.
Of or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above.
So now they say, look, man, you can't have no images of nothing in the heavens above. So what's in the heaven above? Birds, you know what I mean, and the crow, eagles, you know what I mean. So they say you can't have no images, and if you read it like how they read it, it does sound that way, but there's something they're not doing. Read on.
That is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath.
So no lion. So what do people say? The lion from what? The tribe of Uda. So then, according to what they're saying, then you know what I mean, the Bible's going off then. They, you know what I mean, using imagery when that's not the case, man. And the next verse is going to explain why it's saying this. Read on.
Or that is in the water under the earth.
Read on.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them.
Thou shalt not do what?
Bow down thyself to them.
And that's the point. Not bowing yourself down to it. It's not saying you can't make no images. You can't, you know, have and have some imagery of a bird, have some imagery of a lion, a bear. The point is bowing down to it, saying it's God. That's the point. So when we were at camp, we got a depiction of Christ. No one didn't say it's Christ. That's why if you look on the sign, it's got these scriptures next to it saying he will look something like this. You know what I mean? Whether he's shorter, taller, broader, who knows? But that's a depiction. And are we wrong for doing that? No, we're not. Are we sinning when we're doing that? No, we're not. Are we bowing down to it? No, we're not. So we're not sinning. We're not violating the law. We're not doing nothing wrong. Read on.
Nor serve them.
Nor do what?
Nor serve them.
Nor serve them. So how do you serve a God when you give this idol food? When you know what I mean, reverence him, have him in some separate place in your house, man.
Right.
That's how you serve him. When that idol has holidays and you're following those holidays, that's how you serve him, man. And in the UPK, are we serving the depiction of Christ? No, we're not. Are we serving images of angels? No, we're not. So read on.
Thou shalt, okay, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, am a jealous God.
And that's key, man. The Lord gets jealous. Imagine this. The Lord, he parted the Red Sea for us. He led us in a cloud, like in the cloud by day and a fire by night. And there you go, giving all that to some wood, to a graven image. And what does the Lord do? He gets jealous, man. Just like any man, you do something for your wife and she goes with another man, you're jealous. She's there praising him like, yeah, you saved me. You know what I mean? My car broke down and you helped me, and he didn't help you. You did. And what would you do? You will get jealous. And the Lord's the same way, man. He helped you. He wants your obedience, man. He saved you. He wants your honor. He wants your respect. And when you go and give it to an idol, the Lord gets jealous. Read on.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation.
And there you go. When you go and serve another God, when you bow down to a graven image, the Lord's going to visit you, man. If he don't get you, he's going to get you in the second generation, man. He's going to get you. So if you, I wouldn't say escape him, but if he doesn't get you in this lifetime, he will get you in the next, man.
Right.
What's that scripture about? Because the judgment ain't done against the evil sentence. It's in Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 11.
I just got that Ecclesiastes 8 and 11.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed expediently.
So that's key now. So someone does something wrong, and because a judgment happened upon them right now. Read on.
Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
So because the Lord ain't got them yet, in the hearts of the sons of man, it's in them to do evil. They think, well, God ain't got me now, so I'll do it again. And I'll do it again. And what happened with the nation of Israel? We were serving idols. God didn't get us yet, but he got us though. Whether it's the second generation, whether it's the third generation, he got us, man. Yeah, we thought, well, if the Lord ain't punishing me yet, then I must not be doing something wrong. And we was doing something wrong. Just the Lord, He was waiting for the right time to pay us back, man.
Right.
You mean from there, let's get Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Because when we serve other gods, when we serve idols, it's an embarrassing thing. You know, we're in the church now, we're in the mosque now, but it's embarrassing. Do you want to know why it's embarrassing? Because you ain't serving your God, man.
Right.
That's an embarrassment. It's like when you're begging something off someone else, it's embarrassing. People look at you like, where's your dignity? And when we're in the church, when we're in the mosque, when we're serving idols, it's embarrassing because those gods ain't done nothing for you. Those gods can't save you, man. Those gods don't even know you. Read on.
Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
So keep that in mind. The Lord shall scatter us among all people, meaning all the nations. That's why we're in England. That's why we're in Jamaica. That's why we're in Amsterdam, Rotterdam. You mean we're in France, Germany. You mean we're in Guadeloupe. We're in Central America, South America. We're in Canada. Why? Because the Lord said He will scatter us among all people. Read on.
From the one end of the earth, even to the other.
Meaning all over the earth. All over the earth, you will find Israelites, man.
Right.
And of course, we're not the majority. That's another curse in the Bible. Read on.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
And there we shall do what?
Serve other gods.
And there, meaning in those places, we are scattered. We shall serve other gods. And that's a curse. That's not something cool. You know what I mean? That's not something to be admired.
Right.
It's embarrassing. You're serving another nation's gods. You're serving their gods where you were scattered to, man. They don't willingly want you to serve their gods. You're serving their gods as a slave, man. You're serving their gods. Why? Because it was beaten into you, man.
Right.
Black people follow Christianity. Why? Is it because it sounded good? Is it because the word of Jesus just sounded convincing? No. It's because it was beaten to you, man.
Right.
A slave master whipped you back and made you do Sunday service,
Right.
made you believe his understanding of John 3 and 16, man. An Arab slave master whipped you back, made you believe that the Quran was the word of God, man. Made you believe there's no one but there's no last messenger but Muhammad, man. You didn't believe it because it sounded good. You done it because you were scattered among other people, and there you would serve their gods. Read on.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
And that's why it's embarrassing because your fathers don't know these gods. Abraham didn't know of no Allah. Abraham didn't know of Jesus or Caesar Borgia, to make it more understandable. And that's why it's embarrassing when you're serving idols, when you're serving another God. It's not the God of your fathers, man. It's not the God of your people. And that's why it's a curse. It's embarrassing. When you see a black man in the church, that's embarrassing. He's got the signs of a good slave, man. When you see a black man in the mosque, that's embarrassing because he's following the signs of a good slave. Read on.
Even wood and stone.
Even the what?
Wood and stone.
And what does the wood and stone represent? The cross and the cobblestone, man. Now, of course, even back then, many idols they were made out of wood and stone. So you know what I mean? You can use it for back then and you can use it for now. And it's ironic because the two biggest religions today both still use those same forms, whether it's the cross made out of wood and the cobblestone made out of rock. So it's the same thing, man. Exact same things. Read on.
And among these nations thou shalt find no ease.
So what's the Bible letting you know? Even though you serve their gods, even though you're bowing down to the rock in Mecca doing your Hajj, you're in the UK in the Christian church. Among these nations that we're gonna find no ease. What does that mean? Although you're serving their gods, these nations are going to give you no ease, man.
Right.
They're not gonna give you no rest, even though you're serving their gods, man.
Right.
And what does that let you know? Their gods ain't for you. So you're telling me he prays to Allah, and as a black man, you're praying to Allah too, but you're finding no ease.
Right.
So what does that mean? Allah hears him. Allah don't hear you. You're in the UK in the church every Sunday praying to the white man's God, and that God hears him and he don't hear you. That's why you don't find no ease. Your feet don't get no rest because that's his God, man. His God's hearing him and he's not hearing you. Read on.
Fine. Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest,
Uh-huh.
but the Lord shall give thee a trembling of heart.
He shall do what?
Give you a trembling of heart.
And what does that mean? In these lands, you're going to be afraid, man. You're going to be treated like a slave, and you're afraid to stand up for yourself. You're afraid to even say anything. And are we lying? You see it every day, man. Although you serve your enemies' religions, although you serve their gods, you are afraid of them. And why are you afraid of them? Because you are subject under them. This is something a lot of us don't understand. When you serve another nation's God, you put yourself under them. You become subject to them. You look up to them like they're great. You're like, well, nah, these are the people of Christ. I can't fight against them. They do me wrong. I just gotta love. Gotta gotta take care of it. Gotta take the wheel. And that's what you do, man. Like likewise in the mosque. You think Arabs are holy? That's why when Arabs call you collar and a bead and shitty, you're like, well, I'll just ignore him, man. You know what I mean? He's ignorant. And you have to say that. Why? Because you're under them. You're serving their gods, man. And that's why, you know what I mean? You won't get no rest. You won't find no ease. And that's why you're going to have a trembling heart because you are afraid of the races of people of these religions. Read on.
And failing of eyes.
And failing the eyes. Why do you have failing of eyes? Because he serves Allah and so do you. And yet he hates you, man. That's why you got a failing of eyes. All right, look at the analogy. What does it mean by failing of eyes? Meaning, imagine you've worked so hard, you put all your effort into something and it doesn't work. And you look at it, you're like, I can't believe that. That is failing. That is failing of eyes, man.
Right.
Meaning you put your all into it and you're seeing it fall right in front of your eyes. What do your eyes do? They fail like, I can't believe it. That can't be. And that's what happens with us, man. Remember what verse 64 said? We shall serve other gods. And with serving these other gods, your eyes fail, man. You're in the mosque, and yet to find out Arabs don't like black people, that will give you fail in your eyes. Your eyes will fail like, but I'm doing Hajj. I've brought the rug. I read the Quran. I pray 5 times a day. And your eyes fail when they hate you, man. You're in the mosque and they're like, look at that color. Look at that black bitch right there, man. And your eyes fail like, but I'm serving your God, man. I'm in the mosque. I'm doing what he tell me to do, and your eyes fail. What's next? Christian church. Black people been Christians for over 400 years. And what happens, man? We've served the white man God, fought in World War One, fought in World War Two, built up England, built up the NHS, done welding. Do you know what I mean? Done everything. And what happens? You got the failing of eyes. The white man goes, go home, you wag. I don't want you here. And you've been serving his God. You done Sunday service. You sang This Little Light of Mine. You sang Amazing Grace. You played in his leagues, the Birmingham League, the British League, the British, what do they call it, the Premiership League. Played with Man City, Tottenham Hotspurs, Man United. And what happens on the pitch? They throw banana skins at you, man.
Right.
That's why the Bible says you got a failing of eyes, meaning you're like, but Master, I've been helping you, man. I made Man City grace, Andy Cole, Dwight York. They made Man United what it is, man. And what happens? Their eyes are failing when they're on the pitch and they're giving them the wanker sign like, go home, go home. They're throwing the banana skins on the pitch. And you're like, my eyes are failing. Master, I built this for you. Those Man United shirts cost £50 each. And that's my doing. I'm building up with you. And he don't care, man. That's why you got the failing of eyes. Read that one more time.
And the failing of eyes.
And the failing eyes mean your eyes are like, I can't believe it. All that hard work and look what's happening, man. No one cares. Read on.
And sorrow of mind.
And sorrow of mind. So imagine this. You got failing eyes, meaning your eyes are like, I can't believe this. And you got a sorrowful mind. They go hand in hand. Your eyes are heavy and your mind's sorrowful. Like, why me, man? Why is it always me? I'm playing football. I'm dating these white girls. I'm buying the fast cars with all these blonde bimbos in it, man. And still, you hate me. Still, you don't accept me.
Right.
I'm in the mosque. I'm in Speaker's Corner, willing to fight for Arabs, man. And still, they don't like me. Arabs don't like black people, man. You got the fail in the eyes and the sorrowful mind. Like, what do I need to do? What what more can I do, man? Read on.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
And in slavery, our life was in doubt, man. Do you know that to kill a black person was like fun, and you didn't need no reason to do it, man? Read on.
And thou shalt be a day and night, and thou shalt have no assurance of thy life.
And have in mind, while this curse is happening, we are serving these other nations' gods. We are bowing down to their idols, and our life was in doubt, man. Even men that got lynched, men that got castrated, you served Christianity, you bowed down to the white image God, and still your life was in doubt. Even among the Arabs, we serve them, man. And although you done your prayers 5 times a day, Arabs used to castrate black men too, man. Arabs used to kill black men for no reason too. But from there, let's go to Psalms 115 and 2. Because one thing we need to understand, with us serving the living God, we don't need to be like the heathens. Idols are made for weak people that don't know God, man.
Right.
Idols are made for people that lack in the understanding of God. That's why they believe, well, this is in between me and God, because I can't talk to him. When the Lord told us what we need to do, man, the Lord, he gave us something that other nations wish they had, man. Read it for me. Psalms 115 and 2.
Psalm 115 and 2. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is now their God?
And now that's key. So now, if you don't know, the book of Psalms is written by King David. So with David, he's saying, wherefore the heathens are going to say, where is your God? So why are the heathens going to say to the Israelites, where is your God? Why are they going to say this? Because we don't have idols.
Right.
That's why the heathens are going to say, well, where's their God? I don't see no statue of him. I don't see no shrine of him. I don't see nothing. Why? Because heathens need idols, while as we don't, man. That's why heathens are like, where's their God? This nation that claims to be the chosen people of God, where is their God? And even till this day, man, to not to not have no idol, that's heavy, man. To not have no shrine, to not have no graven image and saying this is your God, it's a peculiar thing. It's something that's strange. Read that one more time.
Go.
Psalms 115 and 2.
Wherefore should the heathen say, where now is their God?
And that's what the heathen say, man. Where is their God? Where's the idol, man? Where's the idol that represents the Israelites' God? And we don't need it. Do you want to know why? Because our God is a living God, man. Our God makes things happen. Their God is just that rock. Their God is just that piece of wood. And that's why heathens will look at us and go, where's their God? You know what I mean? I don't see no shrine. I don't see no stone. I don't see no graven image. Read on.
But our God is in the heavens.
What did the Bible say?
But our God is in the heavens.
And that's why heathens can't understand it. Our God is in the heavens, man.
Right.
Our God is alive. Our God parted the Red Sea.
Right.
We heard the voice of our God and lived. Why? Because He's in the heavens, while as their God is that rock. In Mecca, that's Allah right there, man. In that black tent, that is Allah. On that wooden cross, that is the white man's God. That image of white Jesus, that is their God. But our God is in the heavens, man. Read on.
He have done whatsoever he has pleased.
What did the Bible say?
He have done whatsoever he has pleased.
And he does whatsoever he pleases. Why? Because he's alive.
Right.
In Mecca, that's just a rock and it can't do nothing, man. The rain hits it, the snow hits it, and it can't do nothing, man. And do you want to know what's funny? Originally, the cobblestone, it was white. And now it's dark black. You want to know why? All those dirty lips that have been kissing it for, for hundreds of years, man. You know what I mean, read on?
The idols are silver and gold.
And that's heathens, man. Their idols are always, you know what I mean? It's either old or it's silver. And that's all it is, man. Heathens, when it comes to their gods, they need idols. They need something to represent God on the earth. Why didn't we need it? Because our God was in the heavens and he done whatsoever he pleased, man.
Right.
Read on.
The work of men's hands.
And that's what an idol is. The idols are the works of men's hands, man. Meaning that idol they are bowing down to, a man made it. And it's kind of funny, like they bow down to it like it came from heaven. Like this is Baal, this is Nebo, this is Ashtoreth. Ashtoreth is a work of man's hands.
Right.
So that image, and she looks nice and beautiful with the long hair, the breast down to her feet. You mean now when I say that, I don't mean hanging breasts, meaning they made Ashtoreth with lots of breasts, meaning she gives birth to many gods. So she got breasts here on the sides of her, or down to her feet. And you worship that, not realizing that's the work of man's hands. Someone that can sculpt her made Ashtoreth. Someone that can sculpt her made Baal. Someone that can sculpt her made Nebo. Read on. Oh, when you go.
They have mouths, but they speak not.
And that's key, man. People bow down to these idols. They look good. They got a mouth, but they speak not. While as our God is in the heavens, and he does whatsoever he pleases. Our God, he speaks. How do we know? Because we heard his voice and we got scared.
Right.
We heard the voice of God and said, you know what? I don't want to hear that voice lest I die. Their God has a mouth and can't speak.
Right.
Read on.
They have eyes, but see not.
And they have eyes, but they see not, man. They can't see and warn you. Read on.
They have ears, but hear not.
And they have ears and they can't hear. Meaning what? When you pray, they're not hearing you, man.
Right.
Read Exodus. Egyptians had many gods and they had ears, but they heard not, man. When those plagues happened, those Egyptian gods, they couldn't do nothing. You know what I mean? Why? Because they had ears and they heard not, man. Horus, Anseth, what's some other ones? Geb. You know what I mean? There's a ton of them. Happy, Anubis, or you know what I mean? They like to moan. That's a Greek name, Anpu. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Those gods had ears and they heard not, man. Right. When those plagues happened in the land of Egypt, those gods couldn't save them, man. Egypt had to just take the plagues, and those plagues did happen, man. It's written in Egyptian records. Every plague that happened in the book of Exodus is written down in Egyptian history.
Right.
Read on.
They have noses, but they smell not. They have hands, but they handle not. Feet, but they walk not. Neither speak they through their throats.
And they can't speak through their throat. So anytime someone tells you Allah, He gave Muhammad a message, how can he? They can't speak through their throat. No rock can speak through its throat, man.
Right.
Even so-called white, white men that claim to be men of God, that image of Christ can't speak, man.
Right.
You ain't got no revelation. It can't speak through its throat, man. And that's heavy because many people, they want to be like us, man. They want to be messengers. They want to speak the word of God just like Muhammad. He wanted to be just like us, man. Even when you read about his history, after he read the Bible, what did he do? Went to Medina and done what the men of God done. They speak against the wickedness that we did, man. And Muhammad, he tried to do the same thing in Medina, trying to tell the Arabians throw away the idols that they had. They want to be just like us, man. Read on.
They that make them are like unto them.
So now, a question online: why is the Bible saying they that make them are just like unto them? I'll give you a minute to answer that. Why does it say they that make them are just like unto them? Then I'm gonna get a precept to go along with it as well.
Okay, you say that we know the idols, pretty much stupid, can't do nothing. Say the men that make them, they're stupid as well.
That's right. They're dumb. You bowing down to something you made. Imagine this. You made it and you bow down, you humble yourself to it, and you are greater than it. Do you know anything you make, you are better than? And that's a common fact. Even in the white man's evolution theory, he has something called the cause and effect. And the person that made the cause, so the person that done the cause, he is greater than the effect. So even in the white man's evolution, he knows that a God exists. They believe, something happened by a cause, and the effect of it was the earth. And even in his evolution, he knows that someone has to make that cause, and they are greater than the effect. So how does this go into what we are on about? You made a cause, and the effect was this image that you made, and you are greater than that image.
Right.
If you made it, if you made the effect, you are greater than the effect. Like someone that makes this microphone here, they are greater than the effect. You are greater than this microphone. Likewise, if you make an idol, you made that effect. You are greater than it. And that's why you are just like them. They're dumb. You're dumb.
Right.
Because you made something and you are greater than it. And yet you humble yourself to it. You bow down to it. You think it's God, man. And that's why you were dumb. Just like that idol. And they give me wisdom of Solomon for 14 and 1.
Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 1. Again, one preparing himself to sail and about to pass through the raging waves.
Salakia. Look at that. There's a particular part. No, sorry, it's 13 and 1, 13 and 1.
Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 1. Surely vain are all men by nature.
Uh-huh.
who are ignorant of the Most High.
And that's why in the scripture we read before, those that make them are like unto them. Why? Because they're dumb. Why? Because they're ignorant of God, man. They don't know how the Lord works. And now have in mind, King Solomon, he's a king, meaning he's been all over the world. He's seen things. He's got wisdom. And one thing he understood is that men that don't know God, they do some vain things. And one of them is making idols, man.
Right.
One of them is worshipping rocks, worshipping gold, sculptured images. And that's what it's saying. Like, surely all men are vain who are ignorant of God. What does ignorant mean? You don't know. You know, a lot of people use the term ignorant wrong. Like, you know what I mean? If someone's loud, he's being ignorant. And that is not being ignorant. Ignorant means you don't know. Look it up. It's a Latin word, ignoramus, which means you don't know. Well, no, it's not an offense. You know what I mean? If you don't know, you don't know. But you know, I don't obviously because people misuse the word, he's being ignorant, and we're not talking about something I know or something I don't know. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's a Latin word, ignoramus, and it means you just don't know. So you know what I mean? King Solomon saying, surely men are ignorant that don't know God. And that's why people make idols, people make the carver stone, people make the cross, people make Vashti and you know what I mean, Uru Nanak and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Big idols in India, big idols in Bangladesh. Why? Because they're ignorant of God. Read on.
And could not of the good things that are seen know him.
What did the Bible say?
And could not out of the good things that are seen know him. That is.
Imagine that. They're ignorant of God and they can't know him by the things that they see. So why would you make any kind of, you know what I mean, wooden cross, any stone, when you can know God by the things that you see, meaning by the inventions of this earth, that shows God already. So how dumb are you when you're making some rock saying, you know what I mean, this is Allah right here, or you're making some saying this is Baal, this is Ashtoreth, when you can know God by the things that you see birds, man, birds, the animals, trees, life. You go, nah, man, God's a good inventor. You're supposed to know God by the things that you see. But here's the problem: people that are ignorant of God, even though they see, they go, nah, I gotta make something to intercess for God. I gotta make this sculptured Ashtaroth right here, man. Why? Because they don't know God, even though they see his inventions every day, man. Read on.
Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the work master.
So that's key. You see the works, there is a work master. So why would you make any images, man? Why would you make idols when if you see naturally you go, well, who made that, man? I'm on this earth. Look at the grass, man. It dies in the winter, comes back in the summer. Who's the workmaster? I see the birds, man. The birds fly over here, go over there, and how did I know this? Who's the workmaster? Look at you know what I mean? Just look at life. There's a workmaster, and even the white man knows it.
Right.
Even in evolution, the white man knows it, man. Why he says to you, there is no God, God's in your mind. He acknowledges there's a work master. Research it, the cause and effect. And now have in mind, this is taught for people that don't even believe in God. They believe who made the cause is greater than the effect. And even they know someone has to make a cause. And who's that? The work master, right. Yahweh in the Hebrew, man.
Right.
Read on.
That are seen know him is, neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, but deemed either fire or wind or the swift air.
And that's the problem, man. You see what's on the earth and you don't acknowledge the workmaster. You don't go, well, how dumb am I? Okay, the workmaster made the earth. I'm going to worship gold, which the workmaster made. How silly am I, man? The workmaster made rocks. I'm serving the rock, which the workmaster made. And that's the problem, man. These people are ignorant of God and they worship the wind, man. They worship the circle of the stars, the water, Happy, which the Egyptians worship. Happy was the water god, and the water god would let you have birth if you could not have kids, man. They're ignorant of God. Egypt was ignorant of God, man. Babylon was ignorant of God. The Persians, the Medes, the Greeks, the Romans, talking about this God called Atlas, who's holding up the earth. You are ignorant of God. That's why you make up crap like that, man. That's why you believe in fables like that, because you are ignorant of God. And that's the problem. People that are ignorant of God, they have to do those things because you don't know God. And likewise, look at all history, look at all ancient history. This always comes down to people that are ignorant of God, man. People that don't know the Lord, people that don't know that God exists and there's a work master, there's someone that made these things, and that's what you see all the time, man. You know what I mean? 1 second, getting Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 2. 1 second. Wisdom of Solomon. All right, where was we at? Yeah, but deemed either for fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the R's or the violent waters or the lights of heaven. So what's the lights of heaven? The stars up in the sky. And many nations worship stars, man. Egyptians done it, Babylonians done it, the Persians and the Medes done it. Many Asian empires, they worship the lights of heaven, the sun, the moon, the stars. And that's the problem, man. And why do all of them do it? Because they're ignorant of God. It's as simple as that. It's not because they had some secret knowledge which man doesn't know today. It's because they're ignorant of God. Like with Egypt, what do people like to say? Egypt, the maths, they worship stars because they knew a science that we didn't have. And that's a lie, man. All of that is BS. Egyptians worship the lights of heaven because they were ignorant of God. That's all what it is. 18 12.
Come on, Carl.
That's right. Read it for me. Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 2. One more time.
Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 2. But deemed either fire or wind, or the swift air, or the circle of the stars, or the violent water, or the lights of heaven.
Or the what?
The lights of heaven.
And what's the lights of heaven? The sun, the moon. And why did the Egyptians do this? Because they were ignorant of God. Everyone has to go, Egypt, man. They knew about the sun and the moon and astrology and all this stuff. And what do many people like to do? They like to make it seem deep. And do you know what it really was? They were ignorant of God. Right. They were vain and they did not know God. So, but yeah, because the pyramid lines up with that, what to say, the constellation right there. No, it doesn't. But I mean, that's a lie, first and foremost. But they did stuff like that because they were ignorant of God. No Israelite should ever look at them and think Egypt was deep, man. You should look at Egypt and go, that's a people that was ignorant of God right there, man. When you see them with horror, the sun god, the moon god, and they've been fighting each other for the light and the night, you should go, they're ignorant of God, man. That ancient civilization, they was very ignorant of God. Read on.
Or the violent waters, or the lights of heaven, to be gods which govern the world.
Read on.
With whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods.
So now, they look at the sun and they're like, that's beautiful, man. Look at the sun in the day. It gives life to the plants. It gives you skin, vitamin D. And Yes, you're delighted at it, but what did the Bible say? You should serve the workmaster. But you get delighted at the inventions of God and you start worshiping that. That's the problem. That's why you got Horus. That's why you got Seth. Because they was not serving workmaster. They was serving his work. Read on.
If they being delighted took them to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is.
What did the Bible say?
Let them know how much better the Lord of them is.
So if you love the sun, how greater is the Lord, man?
Right.
If you love the moon, how greater is Yahweh, man? If you love the if you love like the birds, which every nation had one god that was like a bird, how great is the Lord of them is, man? Meaning the person that made them. And that's what people that serve idols cannot understand, man. That's the problem with people that serve idols. They just can't get, they just can't fathom that. If you think the invention's nice, how greater is the inventor? Read on.
For the first author of beauty have created them.
For the what?
First author of beauty have created them.
And who's the author? Yahweh, man. Read on.
But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them.
So how much mightier he is that made them. So if you love the sun, then damn, how greater is the person that made the sun? If you love the moon, how mightier is the power that made the moon, man? And that's why we shouldn't be serving no idols, because we got the living God, we got the maker of all of it, man. So forget the church, forget the mosque, forget Hinduism, forget, you know what I mean, all these shrines. You know what I mean? If you can, I believe it's in Nepal. They got like one big statue there. So now, after that verse that we just read, you know what I mean? We're gonna find out how greater is the Lord. You're gonna see all these people serving images. Why? Because they see the inventions, they go, who made this? And what did they do? With their ignorant mind, with their not knowing mind, go, some invisible God called Buddha, he made it. Some invisible God called Narakna, he made it, man. And that's the problem. Back on second, it's going to relieve myself. So now, yeah, it's I know we can't screen share, but on some of these images here, it's got like the people in droves, man. And if you read it, it says the practice of idol worship in Hinduism. And look, do you know what order is right there? It's ignorance. It's called mass ignorance. You don't know God, and you make up a God. Even though you see his inventions, even though you see the work of the workmaster, you being in ignorance, you make up your God. You look at elephant, which is the work of God, and go, the elephant's strong and mighty. The elephant's God, yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, man, he's strong, his skin's thick. You know what I mean? Look, man, it looks like he's damn near unbeatable. And what do? Worship the elephant. Why? Because you are ignorant of God, man. Like what he said in the Apocrypha. Read on.
For the greatness and beauty of the creatures, proportionably, the maker of them is seen.
So even in the inventions, so the birds, the bees, the wasp, the lion, the cheetah, a proportion, you mean that every bit that he give, the worker, like the workmaster of them is seen, meaning the Lord is seen in all these animals, and there you're going, worshipping the animals. In Hinduism, that's the elephant god right there, man. You are worshipping the inventions of the Lord, man. Read on.
But yet, for this, they are the less to be blamed, for they pre-adventure speaking God and desirous to find him.
So the word peradventure, I can't remember, like you're thinking,
like, I remember it means like, just say, I said peradventure, I was doing this, like, just say I was doing
Okay, so it's like, just read that one more time for me.
But yet for this, they are the less to be blamed, for peradventure seeking God.
So now, in their thoughts, they error. Why? Because they're not looking for God. They start to wonder and, well, look at the elephant, man. The elephant's strong and look, you know what I mean? Look how he just looks after his family. The elephant's God. Then what's next? The sun. The sun makes the plants grow. You know what I mean? What is life without the sun? And that's true. What is life without the sun? But guess what? What's the sun without the workmaster?
Right.
What's the sun without the Most High?
Right.
And guess what now? As Israelites, that's what we know. Them being heathens, they don't know that. They're like, look at the sun, man. It grows the crops. Yeah, the sun's God, man. And what happened? And you want to know a fact? Every nation has a sun god. It's a fact. Research it. Every ancient nation has a sun god, whether it's in the Egyptian Empire, the Persians, the Medes, what's some other ones? Ireland, Japan, China. All of them have a sun god. Why? Because they saw what the sun did, but they didn't acknowledge the workmaster, and that's the problem. Read on.
Like verse 7. For being conservative in their words, they search him diligently and believe their sight.
And then they did what?
Believe their sight.
And that's where idols originate from. People that believe their sight, man. You know what I mean? The moon. So they believe their sight and go, the moon's God. This lion, that's God, man. Yeah. And that's what idols are all about, man. People that believe their sight. Right. White image of Christ, they looked up to that, man. They believe their sight. Allah, you know what I mean? That at night, the Arabians, they used to like go through the Arabian desert. And the moon, because in the morning it was hot. So they used to do it by night. And what would you see? The moon. And what did they do? They believed their sight. Read on.
Because the things are beautiful that are seen, how be pardoned.
So hang on now. The Lord ain't going to let them go. Because some people go, well, come on, man. Why don't you just let them off, man? They don't know. They just believe their sight. But he's saying, nah, the Lord ain't going to let them go. Read on.
For if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof?
So if you can see all the inventions, how did you not find the Lord, man? Why are you serving wood? Why are you serving rocks for, man? When you see this earth, how did you not find the Lord?
Right.
All right. From there, give me Habakkuk 2:18. That's it. All right, nah, they don't. And I'll explain why. One thing what people like to do, you'll meet some people, they like to be set apart. They like, okay, you don't believe this, but look what I found out. Oh, I serve the trees, man. You're serving a God that you can't see. Well, the trees, they give life. You got the apple trees, you know what I mean? And when it comes down to it, they don't believe in that tree. Like I'm telling you, a lot of Rastas, they don't say, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, they believe that like Selassie, he was God. And you know what I mean, you got some that they don't. But when they're backed against the wall, what do all them say? Jah bless. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I gotta read some Psalms. But hang on, what, you don't believe in the Bible? So why is it when your back's up against the wall, all of a sudden this epiphany came to you where, you know what I mean, you know that God's right here? Why? Because deep down, everyone knows it. All it is, amongst us, we like to be different. You mean everyone likes to have an opinion, a philosophy. Get it for me in Corinthians about. Everyone's got a Dutch bit, everyone's got a Psalm. Grab that. Because you know what I mean? That's one thing with us, man. Like, we like to be different, while as every other nation, they're not different, man. Arabs follow Islam, and that's it. There ain't nothing different. One of them is saying, you know what, I like Hinduism. No, I just want to try something new. But what's the problem with us? We want to be different. Like, yeah, you lot have written that Bible. I want to serve the trees, man. That's like that concept right there. And that's not how it goes, man. Every nation has one order. But you know, with us, we like to, I serve the trees, Haile Selassie, and all kind of stuff, man. I believe it's First Corinthians 14.
What then, brother and sister? Whenever you come together, everyone has a hymn.
Everyone has a what?
A hymn.
Read on.
A teaching.
A what?
A teaching.
A teaching with the trees. They're God, man. Look at the trees bring life. Yo, that has to be God. And that's the problem with us. Have in mind, he's writing this to Israelites. And the same way we was back then, we are the same way now. And when it comes down to it, they don't believe in that. I mean, when it comes down to it, they're gonna be reading the Bible, they're gonna be calling out for God or Jah or whatever they say, and they really know that you can't depend on that, man. That lie that you're in, it can help you. Read on.
A doctrine. It's like a revelation, have an interpretation.
And that's P, a revelation. Everyone has a revelation. You know what? God showed me. I don't need to read the Bible. The Bible's inside me. I am the book. I'm the walking book. You do that. Why? Because everyone believes they have a revelation. I'll give you an example. It was a few months ago. I had some extra money. I was gambling. According to the Bible, gambling ain't a sin, so don't even start. But now I was, you know what I mean, I was watching some like dog racing, horse racing on the projector they had. I don't know how it happened, but some religious talk came, and let me tell you something. Everyone had a revelation. Everyone spending their rent money in the bookies. All of them had a revelation, man. One saying, I don't read the Bible. God showed me I shouldn't read the Bible. One saying you should read the Bible. One saying Rasta's the way. One saying that, you know what I mean, the Bible's tampered with. And that's the problem. Everyone's got a revelation. And you want to know what's funny? All of them said these exact words. God showed me this. So the guy who was sitting down on my left, he's like, nah, man, from young brother, God showed me. I should not read. I should not read the Bible. Then the man who was sitting on my right, he's like, nah, man, God showed me the Bible's the way, man. Jesus Christ, man. Then the guy behind me watching the dog racing, he's like, nah, man, God showed me from young that the Bible's a joke, man. You can't read the Bible. And then another guy, he was sitting, like, I mean, literally up front to the projector. You know what I mean? He's like, nah, man, God showed me from young that Islam's the way, Muhammad's the last prophet. And that's the problem, man. All of us have these revelations. All of us saying, God showed me this. And guess what? God showed them nothing. Every single one of them, God didn't show them a thing, man. It's just their opinion. Read on. No sweat. No sweat, yeah, that's it. That.
Back 2 and 18. What prophet have the graven image?
So what prophet have the graven image? If you look at that word, it means a gain. So if someone says, this is a prophet, I mean it's a gain, it's some value for me. So now Habakkuk, who's a prophet, he's saying, what prophet has the graven image? Meaning, what value is it for you, man? What gain is this graven image for you? The reader.
That the maker thereof have graven it.
That the maker thereof, he has graven it. I mean, that maker, he's carved it. You know what I mean? Like, what value is it for him? All that hard effort, all that work, what value, what, you know what I mean? What is that going to do for him? Read on.
The molten image and the teacher of lies.
And the what?
Teacher of lies.
And that's all these images do. Now, of course, these images can't talk, but they teach lies, man. Meaning the people that made them and said, I'm the last messenger, they teach lies, man. Baal, he, you know what I mean? In the Bible, he had men that were, you know what I mean, said, in the name of Baal, I see this and that. And those people, they teach lies, man. Just like in your church, they serve white Jesus. And what do? Teach lies, man. You're a black man in the mosque following Arabs. Muhammad taught lies, man. And that's it, man. Read on.
God, the maker of his work trusted therein.
And that's key. The maker of his work, meaning he made it and he believed in his work. You're bowing down to your work. Like, to give you an example, imagine, you know, I make a house, I laid the foundation, cemented it, floorboarded it, you know what I mean, made the roof, the tiles, and then I bow down to the house like, yeah, this is the great house, so and so. That's stupid. I trust in the work that I made. I made it. I'm greater than any work I can make, man. Read on.
To make dumb idols.
To make what?
Dumb idols.
And when it says dumb, if you look at that word dumb, it means that it can't talk. It's not talking about dumb like, you know, they got no sense. It means that they're dumb like they can't talk. They can't prophesy. These idols are dumb. They can't hear. They can't see. Read on.
Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake.
And what does woe mean? Destruction, man. Destruction unto him that says unto that wood, awake. Like, you know, I'm gonna pray to you and you're gonna walk, you're gonna teach, you're gonna part the Red Sea for me, man. God's saying destruction unto that Israelite. Read on.
Sakya, to the dumb stone, arise.
And that's what they say, man. Unto that dumb stone arise. That stone that can't talk, arise, man. You're gonna walk, you're gonna cry. Like, what do people say? With them, the image of the Virgin Mary, you know what I mean? I seen it cry, I seen the tears. No, you didn't, man. You know what I mean? Something you made, something that's not, something that doesn't have the human capabilities like you cannot cry, man. You are delusional. When they give me Isaiah 2, and 4, 5.
Isaiah 2 and 5.
So now let's listen to what Isaiah had to say, man. The same way Israelites are serving idols now, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Even in the time of Isaiah, they was doing it, man. And let's listen to the message that Isaiah had for them. Read that for me.
O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord.
So why did Isaiah even say this? Because we were serving idols back then. He's saying, listen, man, let us walk in the light of the Lord. What's the light? The path, man. If you're in darkness, you need light to, show you the path. And Isaiah is saying, let's put these idols down and let's walk in the light of the Lord. Read on.
Therefore, thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob.
So now, who is the thou? It's the Lord. So Isaiah is saying, Lord, you have left us, his people. Read on.
Because they be replenished from the east.
We be what?
Replenished from the east.
So let's see online. What does it mean by replenished in the east? Well, I'll give you a moment, then of course I'll have to answer it. What does it mean by replenished in the east? Right. Anything on the Facebook? Right. I'll have to answer it. Now, have in mind, you're talking about them serving them idols, and they are replenished in the east, meaning whenever they're down, they're going to serve other gods in the east, man. What's the east of our land? Like Arabia, India, Assyria back then. So that's why the Lord left us, man. Whenever we was down, was we serving our God? No, it wasn't. We was replenished in the east, meaning we will go and serve other nations' gods from the east. Read on.
And are soothsayers like the Philistines,
Uh-huh.
and they please themselves in the children of strangers.
What did the Bible say?
They please themselves in the children of strangers.
And come on, that's us, man. What nation of people does this except us? No one. That's us, man. We please ourselves in strangers, man. That's us. Like, we believe the more strangers we know, we achieve something. Like, I got some Italian friends, I got some Indian friends, I got some Chinese friends, and no other nations like that. They like their own people, and that's us today, and it's us back then. We just loves strangers, just like now, man. We done.
They please themselves with the children of strangers.
We done.
The land also is filled with silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. The land is also full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots.
We done.
The land is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, which their own fingers have made.
We done. Verse 9.
And the mean man boweth down.
And imagine that, unto an idol, the mean man boweth down. What does it mean by the mean man? Meaning the bad man, meaning the man that you wouldn't even mess with. Imagine that someone mean bows down to the works of man's hands. Like, I'm gonna go on my knees and get my arms like this. When it's an idol and you're a mean man, you don't take nothing off no one, and then you bow down to an idol. Read on.
And which their own fingers have made.
Mm-hmm.
And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbleth himself. Therefore forgive them not.
All right, 1 second. All right, skip to the 17th verse, verse 17.
Verse 17. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of man shall be made low, and the Lord shall alone be exalted in that day.
And what's it talking about? The last days, man. Meaning the Lord's gonna deal with all this idol worship, and only He is going to be exalted in that day. Read on.
And the idols shall He utterly abolish.
Uh-huh.
And they shall go into the holes of the rocks and in the caves of the earth for the fear of the Lord and for the glory of His majesty.
And imagine that when Christ makes His second return, people that serving idols, serving Buddha, serving that, they're gonna hide, man. They're gonna be like, raw, like I know for a fact this ain't my idol doing this. They're gonna know what time it is. Read on.
When He ariseth to shake terribly the earth.
Mm-hmm.
In that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and idols of gold, which they have made one for himself.
Imagine that. When Christ makes His second return, you know what I mean? Everyone's gonna throw them idols away. They're gonna know, like, listen, this can't save me. What's happening? It ain't this. And they're gonna throw them away. Out of fear of Christ's second return, they're gonna throw them idols away. They're gonna throw away that wooden cross. They're gonna throw away that Hindu symbol with them swords on it. They're gonna throw away everything, man. Why? Because they're gonna know that can't save me. Read on.
For the moles and the bats
No, no, so that's it on that. Let's get Zechariah 1 and 3.
Zechariah 1 and 3. Therefore say thou unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, turn ye unto me, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will turn unto you.
And imagine that. That's what the Lord's saying, man. You turn unto me, and I will turn unto you, man. And how do you do that? By serving him. And what what is one of the things that the Lord don't like? Is idols, man. You want to turn unto the Lord, leave that church. You want to turn unto the Lord, get out of that mosque, man. You want to turn unto the Lord, throw away that wooden cross, throw away anything that you're bowing down to, man. Throw away anything that is attached to any religion, throw that away, man. And the Lord will turn unto you, man. Once you come through these doors, 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW, listen, man, the Lord's going to be with you, man. If you do as He says. And from there, give me Wisdom of Solomon 15 and 15.
Wisdom of Solomon 15 and 15. For they counted all the idols of the heathen to be gods.
Have we done?
Which neither have use of eyes to see, nor noses to draw breath, nor ears to hear, nor fingers of hands to handle.
That's what it's saying. Listen, like they count these to be gods, man. Like, listen, this is him, man. This is Bar right here. This is Astroth right here. And they can't do nothing. What's great about them? It stands in the same position forever, man. What is so great about that, man? Then, all right, now, give me numbers with the staff of it. It's numbers 21 about where did I?
Numbers 21 and 1. And when the king Arad, the Canaanite, who dwelt in the south, heard that Israel had came by the way of spies.
So it might be numbers 24 and 4.
21.
Oh, is it? Okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right, yeah. Where's it at? Where the snakes got them and all that? What's that? Numbers 21 and 6. All right, let's start. All right, Numbers 21 and I can start at verse 4, 21 and 4.
And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to come past the land of Edom, and the soul of the people was discouraged because of the way. And the people spake against God and against Moses.
So now, because of the way, so the Israelites in the wilderness, we have to walk far, and like many people, when you're doing something you don't want to do, some people get discouraged at time, and they spoke against the Lord. They don't say exactly what they say or it might do, but they spoke against the Lord and the man that the Lord set up as well. Read on.
Wherefore have you brought us up out of Egypt to die?
So they're like, so now imagine that the Lord parted the Red Sea for you. You're getting fed every day. And because you're discouraged, because you have to walk far, listen to what they're saying. It's like it brought us out here to die, man. I'm tired of walking around left to right, right to left. So they spoke against the Lord. Read on.
For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loatheth this light bread.
And what does the word loatheth mean? It means hate. So the food that they was getting from the Lord, like, I hate that food, man. I've been in the wilderness eating that same food for how long, man? But you're missing the point. You're being fed in a place where there ain't no food, and they didn't understand that. Read on.
Is there any water? And my soul loatheth this light bread. And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people.
So because they spoke against him, he sent fiery snakes among them, meaning venomous snakes. Read on.
And, and they bit the people, and much of the people of Israel died.
There, so the Lord in his anger, he sent those poisonous snakes amongst us, man. And they were biting many of us, and many of us died. And you can research it. If a snake that has any venom in it bites you, you can literally die in minutes. And what the venom does, it first paralyzes you first, so you don't just drop on the floor dead. We like the venom in your body, it causes a reaction where you just freeze. So you know what I mean, it's like you know what I mean, like so the snake's been on you and you stiff like, and then you die. Okay, so, what does it do? It's like, okay, so yeah, that's why. So it sends blood clots throughout your body. That's why they freeze. So I mean, like the venom, it basically clots the blood, and that's why whenever someone gets bit by a venomous snake, they just freeze like this, and then and then if eventually they die if they don't get no medical attention really quick. So that's what happened to us. We spoke against the Lord, and the Lord made that kind of death happen to us for us speaking against Him. Read on.
Therefore, the people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord."
There, so they even acknowledged what they did. They're like, you know what? This happened to us because we spoke against the Lord about we hate this bread. I'm tired of walking. So the Lord, He paid them back. Read on.
We have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord and take away the serpents from us.
There, so now they said to Moses, please, you know what I mean? You pray to the Lord and please take away this from us. Read on.
And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole.
All right, so now the Lord said this. So now this is where some people try to say, well, this is idolatry right here. The Lord saying, make this object. Read on.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live.
So now some people say, well, this is idolatry right here. So a question online, why is this not idolatry right here? I'll give you a minute to answer this. To give you a minute, then of course, I'll have to answer it. That's right, it's from the Lord. But what's the better answer? What's a law? So why would this not idolatry? All right. Now, in the law, what did it say about idols? thou shalt not bow down to them. Were they bowing down to it? They just looked upon this and they was healed. But I'm gonna get a precept to go along with this. Just read that last bit in the book of Numbers.
And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it on a pole, and it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the brass serpent, he lived.
There, so now people use this and go, well, look, they looked on something and they lived. That you remember, but that's not idol worship. Were they bowing down to it? Did the Lord say, you bow down to this and you know what I mean? You'll be saved. No. So a lot of people that say that, it's just them trying to be wise, them thinking they've found something. But let's get another account in the Apocrypha. Now, have in mind, it's talking literally about the same thing. Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 1.
Therefore, by the like where they were punished worthily.
And now, in your own time, you read it. It's talking about us, meaning what the Lord done to us in the wilderness. It was righteous. It's saying that we deserved it. Read on.
And by the multitude of beasts tormented.
Read on.
Instead of which punishment dealing graciously with them, thine own people, thou preparedest for them meat for a strange taste.
And what's that meat for a strange taste? It's the bread that they was on about. I loathe this bread. So it's talking about the same situation, the same scenario. Read on.
With thy own people thou prepared for them meat of strange taste, even quail to stir up their appetite. To the end that they desiring food might for the ugly sight of beasts sent among them. Lo, even that.
There, so it's saying that they desire food. So yes, they're getting fed, but in the wilderness, we were desiring other food. Like, I'm tired of this manna from heaven, man. I want something else. Isn't it? And we desired that. Read on. Quail. I'm not sure if it's a bird, which is it's a lawful bird, if I'm correct. Yeah?
Which they must needs desire, but these suffering penury for a short space might be made partakers of a strange taste.
Read on.
For it was requisite.
So sucks now. The word requisite means to pay them back. So the Lord saying that because they was going against me, it was right that I paid them back. Read on.
That upon their exercising tyranny should come penury.
Compunery. So meaning they rebelled against him. To be a tyrant means that you go against a king, you go against someone that's up on high. And who did we go against who was up on high? The Most High. In the wilderness. Read on.
Which they could not avoid. But to these it should only be shown how their enemies were tormented. For when the horrible fierceness of beasts came upon these, and they perished with stings of crooked serpents.
With what?
Stings of crooked serpents.
And where do you find that? In the last scripture that we read about the fiery serpents. Just that in this book here, he just wording it differently. Read on.
Thy wrath endured not forever, but they were troubled for a small season, that they might be admonished.
So now, with those snakes, it was to admonish us. What does admonish mean? To correct someone strongly. So you know what I mean? That's how the Lord handled it. We were speaking against him, and he strongly corrected us by those snakes. Read on.
Having a sign of salvation, to put them in remembrance of the commandment of the Lord.
So what's the sign of salvation? From the scripture we read before, it's a serpent. So that serpent, so that serpent that he held up over here, it calls it the sign of salvation. Read on.
For he that turned himself toward it was not saved by the thing that he saw.
What did the Bible say?
For he that turned himself toward it was not saved by the thing that he saw.
And even the Bible says it. He that looked at it was not saved by the thing that he saw. So he didn't see and was saved because of that. He didn't see because he said that's God. He wasn't saved because of that. Read on.
But by thee, thou art the Savior of all.
So that person, he was saved by the Most High. So meaning, if you follow the commandment of the Most High, what was the commandment of the Most High? To look up on that snake. And because you followed the commandment, that's why they were saved. Not because they bowed down to that fight, not because they bowed down to it. When they looked upon it, that was because it was a commandment from the Lord. It was an order that if you don't want to die, look upon this and you will live. That's the point. They didn't have to worship it. And they wasn't even saved by it. They were saved by the Lord because that was his commandment to look upon that man. Read on.
Verse 6. Verse 8. And in thou madest thine enemies confess, and that it is thou who deliverest them from all evil.
And in this context, with the enemies, it's us. Meaning the Lord made us confess, like, yo, we need the Lord, man. I'm not speaking against him again. Yo, he made us confess, like, we're not gonna talk about him no more, man. We're not gonna complain. No. We're not going to complain about the food that we eat. And we knew that it's the Lord that delivers us from all the evil, man. From there, give me Isaiah 46:5.
Isaiah 46:5. To whom will they liken me and make me equal and compare me?
So now, again, we were not serving idols again. What's the Lord saying? To whom will you liken me? Like, what can you make me like? Like, you know what I mean? People serve goats and sheep and bulls and elephants, the sun, the stars. But the Lord's saying, what can you liken me to, man? I'm greater than all of this. I'm the workmaster. Read on.
That we may be like. They lavish gold out of the bag. They weigh silver in a balance. They hire a goldsmith, and they make it fit a god. They fall down and worship. They bear him upon their shoulders and carry him.
So now the Lord's saying to Isaiah, like, who can you make me like? And look at these heathens, man. They get valuable gold, melt it down to make an idol to worship it. When you made it, if you're a goldsmith, you made the idol, and then you humble yourself to it, like, okay, this is balling, silence. When you made it, and then some of them, they even carry them as well. And the Lord's saying, why would you do this, man? And who's he talking to? The Israelites. Saying, why would you do this when you know you can't liken me unto none of these idols? Read on.
And they set him in his place, and he standeth. From his place shall he not remove ye, only shall cry unto him, ye can he not answer?
And there, so he stayeth in his place, meaning that place you left him, he stays there, just like in Mecca right now, man. That cobblestone's there, why? Because it was left there. Not because it's lazy, it can't be bothered to move. The cobblestone's right there, why? Because man left it there.
Right.
And that's where it's going to stay till Christ returns and destroys it, man. Like with any idol, you mean even in someone's house, they got shrines galore and they don't move. Those idols, they stay there. Why? Because you left it there, man. Read on.
Nor save him out of trouble. Remember this, and show ye yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, all ye transgressions.
There's the Lord saying, bring it to mind. Like, think about this, man. Think about me. Think about what I did for you. Don't think about these idols. Recall what I say to mine, man. Remember that it's me that gave you your land. It's me that gave you, you know what I mean? It was me that gave you a land. It's me that saved you out of the land of Egypt. when you could have been slaves till Egypt was destroyed, man. Read on.
For I am God, and there is none else.
And now that's key because a lot of people like to use this verse. Or who are they getting? A lot of like Old Testament Israelites. They go, look, I'm God and there's none else. But you don't understand what that's talking about. When it says I am God and there's none else, it's talking about other gods. It's talking about idols. It's talking about Ashtaroth, Nebo, talking about Allah. You know what I mean? Ain't talking about someone who the Lord sends. So you know what I mean? That's the point of that one also as well. But Lord saying there's none else, meaning I stand alone. I'm the living God. There's no other living God around, man. Only me. Everything you serve and you think is God is not God. Everything you think is God is the work of man's hands. Everything that you think is God doesn't have the breath of life in it, man. It can't part the Red Sea. It can't make the blind see. It can't save you, man. Read on.
There is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning.
What did the Bible say?
Declaring the end from the beginning.
And that's how you know our God's real. He declares the end from the beginning, meaning prophetical events or prophecy, as what people like to say. He declares the end from the beginning, man. That's how alive he is. You're telling me all these idols, they're alive and they can't give you nothing for the time that's about to come. In the Quran, forget about it, man. Any so-called prophetical event, it comes from the Bible. You know what I mean? In the Hindu books, there's no prophet, there's no prophecy in none of those books. In the Tibetan writings, there's no prophecy, none of that. Forget about it. In the Egyptian Metaneta, there's no prophetical events in there, man. None. It only talks about how the Egyptians lived, their concepts, their thoughts, their opinions, but that's as far as it goes. While as our God, He declared the beginning from the end, man. Right. He gave Isaiah events, He gave Ezekiel events, He gave Haggai events, man, and He gave Christ events also. Read on.
And in ancient times, things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
And that's key, man. The God that we serve, He does all His pleasure. No one stops Him, man. While as them idols, they can't do their pleasure because they don't exist. What you're worshipping is what you made, and it has no pleasure. It's a rock. When they give me Deuteronomy 2, or it might be 4. 1 second. Deuteronomy 4 and 15.
Deuteronomy 4 and 15. And ye therefore, take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that ye saw the Lord in Haran.
So now the Lord, He's warning us, man, that take heed to yourself, meaning watch yourself, examine yourself. Meaning when the Lord spoke to us, we saw no manner of similitude. Meaning nothing you can give. Well, from what I saw, the Lord looked like the elephant god that I'm making. The Lord looks like the golden calf that I'm making. We saw no similitude. There's nothing you can go, well, that was in a similarity to the Lord. So that's why we should not be serving idols. All you heard was a voice in the mount. All you heard was a voice that scared the Israelites to death, but you saw no similitude. The reader.
Out of the midst of the fire, lest you corrupt yourselves.
Lest we do what?
Corrupt yourselves.
Now, how do you corrupt yourself? Or what does corruption even mean? I'll see who knows it online. Yeah, to defile. So if you corrupt yourself, you make yourself unclean. And the Lord's saying, be careful, man. You do that, you're going to become dirty, man. Do you want to know why? Because we're clean when we serve these laws, man. We're like we serve the Lord. We're clean when we keep these commandments. And to corrupt yourself, to defile yourself, is when you go against it. So the Lord's saying, be careful, man. Don't make yourself dirty by doing what? Read on.
Lest you corrupt yourself and make you a graven image.
And that's how we corrupt ourselves, when we make ourselves a graven image and we bow down to it. He's not saying you can't make one. Of course, in the Bible, there's symbolism. People had imagery. Even in the temple, King Solomon, he had angels in the temple. Like, you know what I mean? He had depictions of him, lions, and many other images and iconography. So that's not the point it's making. It's talking about you worshiping it, you saying it's God. So images ain't bad. Hold that. What's it? I believe it's Hosea about no image. About with the children of Israel should have no image. Just to show you that Israelites had images, Israelites had depictions, even in the wilderness. You know what I mean? Each tribe had an ensign. And what's the ensign? A flag. So one had a flag of a lion, the wolf, for Benjamin. So is that idolatry? No, it's not, man. Are they worshiping it? No. So you know what I mean? Do understand what the Bible is on about also as well. But the children of Israel shall abide.
Hosea 3 and 4.
Let's go. Let's get Hosea 3 and 4.
Hosea 3 and 4. But the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king.
So now this is talking about these times right here, man. Yo, we lost our identity, serving idols, serving our enemies' gods. And he's saying for many days we shall abide without a king. Meaning we don't know who our king is, man. It's Christ. We know now. But it was a time for many days before 1969 where we did not know, man. Read on.
The children of Israel shall abide many days without a king and without a prince and without a sacrifice and without an image.
Without a what?
And without an image.
Without an image. So meaning Israelites had images. So it's not idolatry. So you know, of course, the Bible don't say what these images are, but you know, we got the pictures of like black Jesus. You know what I mean? Of the angels. You know what I mean? Or great men of God. And are you wrong for that? No, you're not, man. You ain't bowing down to it. And even in the Bible, it says, we shall abide without images. So, meaning, even Israelites in the ancient time, our granddads and great grandfathers and that, they had images. So, how can someone now say, well, nah, images are idolatry? You got black Jesus, man. That's idolatry. You're contradicting yourself. When in the Bible, Israelites had images, man. Israelites had the wolf, the lion, the hind, you know what I mean, for Naphtali and all that stuff, man. Let's get back to Deuteronomy 4 and 16.
Lest thou corrupt thyself and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure of the likeness of male or female.
There's so meaning we can't make no idol and say it's the Lord, a man, a woman, anything. Why? Because we didn't see nothing, man. All you heard was a voice. Read on.
The likeness of any beast that is in the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flies in the air.
So the likeness of any beast that's in the earth. So can you say the Lord's a lion? Can you say the Lord's a calf? Can you say the Lord is a bear? Can you say the Lord is the elephant, like in the Hindu belief? No, you can't, because all you heard was a voice, man. Read on.
The likeness of any creeping thing on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. And thou shalt lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shall be driven to worship them.
And that's key, man. Why is the Lord saying this? Because that's what all these nations do, man. They lift up their eyes, see the sun, the stars, all the hosts of heaven, and they are driven to worship them because they don't know the Lord. They're like, well, what's in the sky? That's gotta be God. And the Lord's warning us. The Lord's like, listen, you don't do that, man. What what you see in the sky? No, that's not me. I made all that. I remember you only heard my voice. So don't see none of my inventions and be driven to worship them. Read on.
God, and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
And that's key. All what you see in the sky is divided unto all nations. The sun, is that just for us? It's for all nations. The moon, is that just for us? That's for all nations, man. And that's what it means. You know what I mean? So when it says it's divided unto the meaning, it helps all nations. It grows the crops on every nation. It grow, you know what I mean? It gives the vitamin D unto all nations. And likewise, the moon is the greater light by night. Just Israelites for all nations. That's what it means by it's divided unto every nation. Read on.
For the Lord hath taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to unto him a place of inheritance, as ye are this day.
I know, sweat. That's it. In that. Have you got anything online? I know, sweat. Let me get. Let me get Psalms 78 and 5.
Psalm 78 and 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob. And appointed the law in Israel.
And that's key, man. Meaning all the understanding of God is with us, man. A testimony. If you look up that word, it means a witness. So you know when you read Isaiah, that's a witness. When you read Ezekiel, that's a witness. Or any book in the Bible, that's a testimony right there. And who is that? It's in Jacob, man. And appointing the law in Israel, meaning all the knowledge of God, we know it, man. No other nation. And with the knowledge that the Lord has given us, idols are wrong, man. And those that make it are just like unto it. Read on.
Which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children.
And that's key, man. We gotta make it known. We gotta make it known that if you're in the church, you're serving an idol, man.
Right.
If you're in the mosque, you are serving an idol, man. And we gotta make it known unto our kids, man. Read on.
The generation to come might know them, even the children which shall be born, who should arise and declare them to their children.
And that's key. And that's what this is all about, man. It's about you telling your kids about a time where God saved your ancestors through the Red Sea, delivered you, and forbids you to, you know what I mean, bow down to idols, forbids you to reverence idols, man, forbids you to be religion, man. And that's something we gotta make known. And like what the Bible says, the kingdom of heaven is in you. You gotta do it, man. You know what I mean? Everyone always waits for something miraculous to happen, and they didn't have to do nothing. When look at life, that's never happened. Anything great in life happened by people doing it. So what now? The kingdom of God just happened, and no one didn't do nothing. Doesn't make no sense. Read on.
That they might set their hope in the Most High and forget the works of God, but keep His commandments.
And that's key, that we don't forget the works of God. Because if you don't do this, what happens? People forget, man. Read the Bible. Many times we sin was because we forgot. After we had the land, after Joshua died, it says it word for word. They forgot his acts, meaning they forgot what he did. And then what happened? They started serving the gods of the Philistines. They started serving the gods of the Amorites. They started serving the gods of the Jebusites. Why? Because we forgot. And that's why we can't forget, man. In the UPK, you can't forget, man. You got to be reading this record daily to keep in your head that, listen, I cannot sin, man. I cannot go back to no church. I cannot go back to no mosque. I can't be a sinner no more. I can't forget these works. Read on.
And might be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation.
And that's key. Do you want to know why they rebelled? Because they forgot. They forgot what the Lord done for them, and they became rebellious, man. That's the problem. When they give me Psalms 106 and 34, Psalms 106 and 34.
Psalms 106 and 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning the Lord, concerning whom the Lord commanded them.
There, so in the law, what did the Lord say? Destroy them, destroy the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Hittites. Don't make no agreements with them. But when we got in the land, we did not do it, man. We didn't destroy them. We had some wars with them, got some land, and then we just let them remain. But they had their part, we had ours. When that was not what we was told to do, that was not the order, that was not the commandment. Read on.
Come. They mingled among the heathen.
We did what?
Mingled among the heathen.
And that's the problem. We mingled with them, meaning we mixed with them, man. We started to learn their philosophies. We started to get with their women. Read on.
And learn their works.
And we learned their works. And what is learning their works? Serving their gods, following their idols. And that's what we did, man. Why? Because we didn't listen to the Lord. We didn't hearken to his voice. We didn't utterly destroy them and get them out of the land. And then we were mingled with them, learning their ways, celebrating their pagan holidays. Read on.
Serve their idols.
And we did what?
Serve their idols.
And we served their idols. Why? Because we were mingled with them. The Lord, see, like, what people understand is when the Lord's saying, don't, you know what I mean, like, completely destroy them. Don't make no agreements with them. Because the Lord knew what would happen. But though, did we do it? No. And then what happened? We served their idols, meaning we followed their religions, man. Read on.
Which were a snare unto them.
Which were a snare unto us, a trap unto us. Why? Because the Lord's going to kill us, man. It's a trap. You serve it thinking you think you're following God, and you're becoming an enemy unto God. From there, give me Ephesians, I believe it's 2, about you were Gentiles. And this has always been our issue. Even in the book of Ephesians, man, New Testament, they speak about this as well. What is it? Ye were Gentiles.
Ephesians 2:11. Wherefore remember that ye being called in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who were called uncircumcision by that which is called circumcision in the flesh.
Read on.
Made with hands. That at that time you were without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel.
There, so at this time, these Israelites, they were scattered from their homeland. That's why they was an alien to the commonwealth of Israel. Because, you know, they were scattered living in Ephesus. That's where you get the book of Ephesians from a place called Ephesus. Read on.
But now in Christ, Yahushua, you who sometimes were afar off are now made nigh by the blood of Christ.
Read on.
For he is our peace, who have made both one and have broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
I got it. That one's good. The one about dumb idols. I'll quickly give it a quick search before we close out. All right, it is 1 Corinthians 12 and 2.
1 Corinthians 12 and 2. You know that you were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols.
And that's us, man. So even in the latter times of the Bible, we were still following idols, man. And you know what I mean? Of course, when the apostles Paul, Mark, Luke, John, etc., they went out, even back then, they had to get us away from all of these idols. And the same way we have to do it now, man. If you're in the church, you are serving an idol, man. If you're in the mosque, you are serving an idol. If you're into Rastafarianism, you are serving an idol, man. And that's something that we need to still understand even till this day. Read that one more time.
You know that you were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols.
And then when we were serving dumb idols, idols that can't talk, can't move, can't do nothing for us at all, man. And remind us that you were Gentiles because you was doing that, man. And at this time, this is the Roman Empire, so they were serving, like Poseidon and Zeus and Greco-Roman stuff. You know what I mean? We was doing all of that, and he's saying that, listen, man, you like with Gentiles serving these dumb idols, and that's always been Israelites' problems, man. Following the ways of the heathen, following dumb idols, serving gods which neither thou nor our fathers have known, and that's always been the issue. Anything before we close up? I don't know, sweat them. With that, hand it over to priest and officer of 5,000, Karathia.
It's an I.S.U.P.K security announcements. With the I.S.U.P.K started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves off the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission to speak to a brother or sister. In another 6 months, in which a brother and sister will call each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from their heads to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in the Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or the teacher, priest fund, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, Feast of Trumpets, 28th September.
That's right.
All active actions of the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be treated to school for wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and headscarf.
Anyway.
With that, I model them. And the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Padash, Hayah, Shimka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawak, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nafananawa, Lakam, Cow, Yuwam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'ah, Tabayainawa, Wanasayawan, Abor, Awashainawa, Mayan, Right, Kaya, Lakar, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahafara, I will love you, Aman,
and in the English, our
Father,
which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Yeah.
And the prayer for the account, Yahweh. Ba'ashemi Havushai. Babakushah. Nafananawa. Hakah. Larapa'ah. Kal Madawa. Hakah. Latahar. Hamatazarayim. Hakah. Lahakriya. Hamathia. Hakah. Arakawaf.
Tawa,
Tama Allah,
Tama Allah,
Gawashan,
Gawashan,
Washemi Hawashan,
Washemi Habashai,
Wala Aman,
Tawada Aman, and in the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahabashai.
In the name of Yahushua,
Please give us the power.
please give us
the power to heal
the power to heal
all manner of sickness,
all manner of sickness,
and all manner of disease.
and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the
The
lepers,
power to cleanse the
the
lepers,
power to raise the dead,
the power to raise the
the
dead,
power against unclean spirits,
the power against unclean
to
spirits,
cast them out.
to cast them out.
In the name of
In
Yahushua,
the name of Yahushua,
thank you.
thank you.
So be it.
So be it. The blessings, Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Wa Yahushua,
Wa Yahabushai,
Wa Mayaka Allah,
Wa Mayaka Allah,
Wa Alahayim,
Wa Alahayim,
Taz of Ya'ab,
Taz Abiyah,
Allah Wafi Hana,
Allah Wapi Hana,
Ha Allah Wafi,
Ha Allah Wapi,
Ha Suranyam,
Ha Saranium,
Ha Kotazayanyam,
Akwata Yanyum,
Ha Kaliyayam,
Ha Kalia Alium,
Wa Wafim,
Wa Akwafi,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Wa Hashem Yahushua,
Wa Shemi Habushai,
Wa Aman.
Wada Aman, and in the English, bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahabushai,
and Yahushua,
and I.P.K,
and Michael,
and the angels,
and the angels,
commanding General YAHANNA,
commanding General
the
Yohanna,
generals,
the general,
the captains,
the captain,
the officers,
the officers,
the troopers,
the troopers,
and the sisters,
and the sisters,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushua,
in the name of Yahushua,
thank you,
thank you,
so be it.
so be it.
Right, and the curses, blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth,
and all things living,
and all things living,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushua,
in the name of Yahushua.
listen to us now,
Listen to us now,
right now,
right now,
send evils and curses,
the evils and curses,
and punishments and destruction
and punishment and destruction
to the heathen
to the heathen
that speak against
that
us,
speak against us,
thy prophets,
by prophets,
the teachers,
the teachers,
the princes,
the princes,
the priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers,
the Israelite brothers,
and the school,
and the school,
send evils and curses,
and evils and curses,
and punishments and destruction
and punishment and destruction
to the heathen, and shake loose
and shake loose
the treasures
the treasures
of the rich of Israel
of the rich of Israel
that refuse to give to the school,
that refuse to give to the school,
force their riches
force their riches
to enter into thy sanctuary,
to enter into thy sanctuary,
send evils and curses,
and evils and curses,
and punishments and destruction
and punishment and destruction
to the Edomites,
to the Edomites,
and the nations,
and the nations,
and their drug dealers,
and their drug dealers,
the court system,
the court system,
the prison system,
the prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the governments of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues,
Roman Catholic Church,
the Roman Catholic
the
Church,
Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Asian,
Aryan nation,
skinheads,
skinheads,
Pasikomatazi,
Pastor
the gay movement,
the gay movement,
the lesbian movement,
the lesbian movement,
spies,
spies,
workers of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space programs,
NASA space program,
Army,
Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
open up the internet
open up the internet,
and the airwaves,
and the
the
airways,
cable access channels,
the cable access channel,
and the radio channels,
and the radio channel,
convict the spirits
convict the spirit
of any of thy people
of any of thy people
that seek to stop us
that seek to stop us
and bring swift destruction
and bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the heathen
that stand in the way
stand in the way
or try to stop us
or try to stop us
from broadcasting your words
from broadcasting your words
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues,
Let loose all the plagues,
cause them to go to and fro
cause them to go to and fro
through the earth and consume them.
through the earth and consume them.
Let the plagues
Let the plague
shake the house of the thief
shake the house of the thief
and the murderer.
and the murderer.
Let Yahweh shine,
Let Yahushua,
Michael and Gabriel
Michael and Gabriel
come down with the flying horses
come down with the flying saucers
and punish all the heathens
and punish all the heathen
that come up against us
that come up against
as
us
we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all
Cause it to be known by all
that it is the angels
that is the angels
that have done it.
that have done it.
Cause it to be spread
Cause it to be spread
through the media
through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake
Cause it to shake
at thy coming.
and that coming
In the name of Yahushua,
in the name of Yahushua.
thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it. Blessed is Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Hashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashemi Yahushai,
Barak Lewa.
Barak Finawa,
Yasha Allah.
Yashra Allah,
Mahaba Yah.
Bahaba Yah,
Sapaya.
Sapaya,
Barak Upah.
Barak Rapah,
Gun the gun.
Gunna Good, Officer Agawal,
Officer Ma'awar.
and all the UPK.
From all the U.P.K.
That's it.
Captain
Captain
Shah.
Shah.
Bashemi Kodara. Bashemi Havashai.
Bashemi Havashai.
The word of Aman.
The word of Aman.
What we said, Lord, in the name of Jesus, bless us and Israel and his school, bless you. Heal, protect our loved ones, in the name of Havashai, thank you, so be it. With that, Ishaq, assistance, you see, one can to teach a of Israel, Aman Shabbat, and Mariam, Barak, Yahweh Bashemi Havashai Barak.
Yahweh Bashemi Havashai Barak.
Benjamin Top, the Star, 10, and Mariam, sisters, you stand. And my one can suit the sisters, and Mariam Shabbat, and Mariam, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Al Bashemi Havashai. Yahweh Shema, a class dismissed.